Today, we're going to talk about everybody's favorite patch swapper once again because a story is doing the rounds on Reddit where they've purchased a card, they've tried to return it to the individual they bought it from after having already patch swapped the relic. Yes, you heard that right. Pretty absurd, pretty funny if I show you some of the things I'm about to show you. And I'm going to get your thoughts on this one down in the comments below as always. Now, to give you a quick context, I put out a video about 5 months ago. This is why I say it's everybody's favorite patch swapper. Because we spoke about a YouTube, not a YouTube page, an eBay seller called Good Time Cards, as you can see over here, that had a number of incredibly dubious patches and cards listed on their page. And we spoke about how this individual was essentially taking the relics out of legitimate cards and replacing them with these enhanced ones, you know, logos, shields, and the like you can see on screen. The reason why we talked about this and thought it was, you know, very important to flag was because the listings themselves were very vague. Now, if I recall, after this video was posted, eBay took the page down. I think this individual had to make some changes to how they displayed things, but it was essentially not a good look. And to sort of give you some context, you can sort of see here a card in question. This is again from Good Time Cards. Keep in mind, this Brock Purdy is going to become very relevant again in a few minutes. But you can sort of see here in the description, they're saying things like these. These are all 100% authentic Panini or Topps cards purchased from the manufacturer. Purchase from the manufacturer being a keyword. We're also going to come back to this in a second. He's essentially saying, why pay 10K for a card with a relic like that? We can get one for a fraction of the cost. He talks about over here about replacing the relics with higher quality ones of emblems, etc., etc. Now, the reason why this was a problem, like I said, in the first place was that these listings, when we spoke about it last time, weren't very clear that they were altered. You know, you're taking a patch out, you're replacing it, the card is altered. And people were sort of seeing these and saying, hey, I can get a $100 card, you know, with a relic like that looks like this, when typically those are what you sort of see in one of ones. And that's why we spoke about it in my video 5 months ago, to try and give a bit of a PSA to people to say, hey, don't get burned. When you see relics like this, especially in the modern hobby, they're going to be on one of ones. They're going to be on chase cards, not your cards out of 99, not your cards out of 50 and the like. You need to be very careful, and that's why we spoke about it. Now, what was interesting at the time is this individual was a subscriber of mine, and they completely berated me and went after me after speaking about this. And the same sort of thing has happened to others today following these Reddit posts. Now, I thought this was pretty bloody hilarious because, like I said in that intro, he's essentially caught here, according to what this person is posting on Reddit with the screenshots, trying to return a card after it went ahead and was altered by the individual. Now, you can see over here they're talking about the condition. The guy in the blue is the person who sold it. The person commenting is this individual over here, Good Time Cards. You can sort of see he's talking about the fact that it was scratched and he's not happy. You then have him showing images. You can see here it is the flat relic of what he bought, and you can see it again over here. If you jump through some of these other images, he's essentially complaining, saying he wants some money back. You think he's, you know, potentially getting $7.50 back. I think the card purchased was like $25 or something along those lines. But he's essentially saying, no, he's just going to return it. Now, what becomes very interesting is you can see over here that he calls out the fact that it was a 17 out of 49 serial number, which is the one in question that we showed over here, 17 out of 49, as you can see. Now, what was sort of interesting, like I said in this screenshot over here, you can see that he was still trying to get a refund, and what the person who sold the original card said was, what's not going to happen because I can see on your page you've already gone ahead and replaced the relic. He goes on to say, after looking at your posts and your listings, I'm not issuing a refund. You've already altered and listed the card with a custom patch. Like, what? Are you serious? Deal with eBay on this. I have the serial number of the item sold and your recent listing. Again, 17 out of 49 mentioned. And then the one that was listed on his page is also 17 out of 49. So completely absurd, right? You've got an individual over here that's had accusations towards him in the past around doing dodgy things, doing shady things, not being overly transparent with what it is they were selling. And now you've got an instance here where they're essentially abusing people and trying to circumvent the eBay process. You've bought something, you're not happy with the condition, but irrespective of that, you've pulled the patch out, replaced it, and then are trying to seek a refund or trying to return the card in question. Like, in what world do you think that is, you know, the right way to go about things? And obviously this was posted on Reddit. It sort of blew up today. It's got 400 comments, and there's a lot of deleted ones now, but this individual, Good Time Cards, came onto Reddit and started defending himself and berating people, being really abusive towards people. You obviously can't see those comments now, so you have to take my word for it. But there was so much hate going on here, and him trying to justify what it is that he was doing. And it's sort of shocking to me how, you know, naive this guy is, and it sort of makes me not feel sorry for him. Now, like I sort of said a bit earlier, you know, he was a subscriber of mine. He didn't like the fact that I posted this. I didn't know he was a subscriber of mine. but he was really aggressive towards me, sent me some DMs and the like, left me some pretty hateful comments. But my thought process is, if you're sitting there, you're feeling hard done by, you don't go ahead and then go ahead and do stuff like this where you're trying to sort of rip off a fellow collector. Like, I can understand if you're unhappy with the condition, but try and return it straight away, or try and seek that refund straight away if the seller shipped it incorrectly or something along those lines. Don't do it dodgy, pull the relic out, replace it, and then trying to get the money back. It's like, that's really unethical, and that's not the kind of stuff we want to see in a hobby or in any community, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Now, like I said, there was a lot of comments made that I can't really show you right now, but if you want to check it out, this is the Reddit post in question. I'm just trying to scroll to sort of see what there is, but I think lots of people have reported him today. Again, you can see so many deleted comments. It was actually pretty wild to sort of read it. I jumped on my lunch break to try and read as much as I could today, but unfortunately most were already deleted by then. But pretty damn funny. Now, this is the Reddit thread, like I said. Buyer demands full refund after listing the exact card. Pretty disappointing. They ended up making a second post to talk about this story, because this thread was actually originally blocked. Oh, not originally, it was blocked by the moderators on this subreddit for sports cards. But it looks like it's back up now, obviously, given that I'm showing it to you. But yeah, pretty interesting. And to sort of go back to this quote over here about, these are all 100% authentic Panini or Topps cards purchased from the manufacturer. In this particular instance, we know that he did not purchase this from the manufacturer. He didn't purchase this and get it out of a pack. He purchased it from this seller over here. So clearly he's full of crap when it comes to that kind of description as well. So, do with this information what you please. Just be careful out there. There's people doing shady things like this. Again, I'm not trying to ruin an individual side hustle, but just be transparent. Why do you have to have wording your description like this and say, all sales are final, which is a bit hypocritical, right? You're saying all sales are final for you, but then you want to try and milk others to try and get money back off them. It's just ridiculous. Now, my point of what I was trying to make just then is, like, don't do all this kind of stuff, right? If you want to try and have a side hustle and have some fun with cards, then make it explicitly clear that these are altered. Say it's altered in the title. But it's like, no, you don't want to do that because you want to try and maximize the money. It's like, sure, you might think you're fine by having a comment like this, but this thing over here completely circumvents the next thing that you're saying. It's sort of, double negative kind of thing. I don't like it, and I just thought, this was one to sort of flag again. So, let me know your thoughts down below. I'm sort of keen to hear them as always. I just thought this was pretty funny, makes no sense to me, and just maybe speaks to this individual a little bit more compared to what we've already talked about. Utterly insane. Who does that? Who bloody does that? Anyway, it is what it is. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.